How did you end up in hospitality?
By chance, by error, let's say. It took me all the way up to managing director of the company.
Wow.
When we opened Columbia Beach, I was getting a salary that most Cypriots would dream of.
Eddy Nassar is the founder of MICA and creator of the Cyprus Insider, a platform that curates Limassol's luxury lifestyle and events.
He is a central figure in the city's social scene, connecting people through exclusive experiences and digital content.
What was the trigger? I'm gonna just change, go solo.
There's a few triggers. The first trigger was,
Gonna get out of here. Was there a plan?
was there a plan?
I want to talk about MICA and Wiba.
Oh, my favorite subjects. When you travel, you start to realize what you've got in Cyprus. And when you travel and come back, that feeling comes back to you. It's like, I'm so glad I'm back home.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Made in Cyprus, big business story from a tiny island, or how you rebranded us, Mitziella Rozzi, aka Small But Mighty. Special episode, as always, special person. I've been chasing and flirting with him for a long time in order to have him on the show. Eddy, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for inviting me and constantly flirting, getting me on the show.
I know you like that part.
Who doesn't?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm great.
Listen, I'm always fascinated by people that come from a mixed background, because I am also mixed background. Half Armenian, half Estonian. I grew up in Cyprus. You're half Lebanese, half Cypriot. Grew up in Cyprus. I grew up in Italy, actually. Did I say Cyprus? Italy. How was it, half Lebanese and half Cypriot growing up? Tell us a bit more about those early family days.
Okay, well, I came here where I was very young, 6 months old. So I'm more Cypriot, even though by blood I am Lebanese, and I've lived in Lebanon for a few years, but I'm mostly Cypriot. I relate to both, though. So sometimes I switch from Lebanese to Cypriot, where it suits me.
When it's convenient.
When it's about food, I'm Lebanese, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a whole podcast episode there.
Absolutely. When it's about comedy, I guess I'm more Cypriot because, you know, the Cypriots are more funny. But I relate to both, and they both bring me, in my personality, different characters.
Yeah.
So I take the best of both worlds, which is great if you can have that. And Armenia is a great place.
Yeah.
I'm actually going in 2 weeks.
First time?
Nope, second time.
Nice.
Have you been to Armenia?
I've been. I was actually 3 years old when we left. Then I haven't been for a really long time. Then I came back.
It's such a beautiful country.
Beautiful.
And most people that I have spoken to, I've got so many Armenian friends. They're like, you've been to Armenia. We're Armenian and we've never been to Armenia.
The diaspora.
Is very
Diaspora
interesting.
is huge.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And did you ever feel like different from your background in Cyprus, or because you were so little, you were just Kyprios since the beginning?
Look, in Cyprus, I think everybody knows the real Cypriots. If you're not 100% Cypriot, there's always that itch in the back of their mind that he's a foreigner. It doesn't matter if you're speaking Cypriot with a bit of an accent or even without an accent. So I was always the foreigner. However, I was welcomed. I was not. I didn't feel uncomfortable here. I was always welcomed when I was young, and in Cyprus, almost everyone now is a foreigner. I mean, there's very few real Cypriots that absolute come from Cypriot backgrounds. So everyone's somehow either mixed, or has family that is mixed, or is married to mixed, or, you know, we're mixing here.
Yeah.
So it's getting more and more accepted now. Yeah. When I grew up, though, you could feel, because back then, you know, the Lebanese came to Cyprus due to the war, and there was a lot of Lebanese diaspora, Lebanese living here, trying to get away from the war over there, and we helped, I think, Cyprus grow back then in the 80s to what it is now. And so many other civilizations have come to Cyprus due to wars to make Cyprus what it is. Because if you reverse 50 years ago, what was Cyprus and what it is now, it's a collaboration of multiple countries sending their people here, or people running away from war-torn countries to just make a living. Yeah. So it's repeating itself.
Yeah, Cyprus has always been a big melting pot, right? I was fascinated once. I was in a villages here on the Limassol side, and I heard some villagers talking, and they were saying a few words which were not even Italian. They were Venetian dialect. There was one in particular that struck me was saoro, which is a very specific fish preservation recipe, which is not even Italian. It's specifically from Venice. You don't find it anywhere else. And Cyprus is rich of this little anecdote, right? So they kind of retain a lot of the words and tradition from the people passing by, and there are no true Cypriots because like it's such a mixed island. It's crazy.
Yes. What is a true Cypriot, really, if you think about it? I mean, go back 100, 200, 300, 500 years. What is a true Cypriot? At the end of the day, we're all mixed.
Yeah.
And there isn't a single person in Cyprus that doesn't have a background from something around, whether it's Greece predominantly, or even traces of Turkey or Lebanon or Israel or Jordan or anywhere in that. I mean, if you take the language itself, Cypriot, when you speak it to Greek, a lot of the words, they don't understand what we're saying.
Yeah.
And if you go down to the origin of these words, they come back either from Turkey or from Lebanon or from a country within the area. So I believe that's what's happening here now in where we are today.
So Eddy, you're one of the most active and social person that I know. Like, it's one of the few that I always see in different events. You're doing a lot of things. I know you worked in hospitality for a long time. I know you did DJing as well. So my question, to going back again, staying in your roots for a minute longer, were you always like this? Were you always a people person? Social and extrovert, was that always part of your natural being, or something that you kind of grew and nurture?
So as a Gemini, those Geminis will relate. I'm a bubbly butterfly, social butterfly that will speak to everyone. Very open and sometimes too friendly, but that's just our nature as Geminis. And as a character, I think your dog wants to come in.
Yeah. That's gonna be she is the time talk.
She's the boss?
She's the time tick of my life. Opening and closing doors. She's the boss. Yeah.
She wants to be on camera.
Yeah. So you always had it in you, yeah?
So even though it's in my character, yes, I think the fact that also we live in a beautiful country that is positive, sunshine, happy, helps to develop this character. By me growing in such a community, it made it much easier for me to be everywhere all the time. And I didn't struggle to do that. Yeah.
So you had it. And how did you end up in hospitality?
By chance, by error, let's say. So I actually joined Columbia when I was the company that I've been working for 24 years. I joined just after I finished my university as an IT engineer. And as an IT engineer, I developed quite quickly in the company. And I wasn't really into hospitality at that point, but at some point we developed new projects like the Columbia Plaza, where I was invited to run the entertainment at the plaza, at the Seven Seas specifically, because of my background in DJing and karaoke and hosting.
And being a Gemini.
And being a Gemini and being who I am. So yeah, I took that. And from there, believe it or not, took me all the way up to managing director of the company.
Wow.
24 years later, of course. But I had gone through literally every position you can think of to get there. I didn't ask to be in the hospitality. It just, you never know what happens. Sometimes you just go one direction and you end up somewhere else. You're like, well, how did I get here? But I enjoyed every part of it. I learned from everything I ever did. And I'm so glad, actually.
Yeah, it's a fascinating world. And I don't think everyone kind of experience hospitality. Not many people live hospitality. And like, I grew up also in hospitality, almost 10 years of my life. And I have a very specific kind of view. But I wanna hear what's your view of working in hospitality. What's the good and the bad? And overall, how would you describe it?
Well, after being in it for so long, I can tell you it's one of the most challenging industries to be in. And at the moment, it's one of the least rewarding industries to be in. And I'm not just talking financially. I'm talking a pat on the back. You don't get that in hospitality. It is very difficult hours. It is a very strenuous work. You're dealing with very high demanding clients and lowering of budgets and profit margins and lines where 20 years ago, it used to make so much more sense to have a restaurant, or 30 or 40 years. Right now, a restaurant or any hospitality is a really, really difficult industry to be in.
Yeah.
I love it, but it is not for everyone. It is a minefield out there. You do not know what every day holds for you.
Yeah.
There's a surprise every single day.
It's crazy hard work, long hours. You work most of your week. Maybe you have one day. I remember I had Wednesday off, right? And I said, what the fuck I'm going to do on Wednesday?
You're lucky you had it Wednesday. When we opened Columbia Beach, specifically, one of the biggest concepts that we did, there was no day off. There was a 15, 16-hour day shift. There was no seeing family, friends, anyone. And it was like that for a good 6 months to get it off and running. You would sacrifice holidays. You would sacrifice days with your family, with your friends. You would sacrifice Christmas, New Year's, Easter. All the public holidays is when you're busy. So it's a big sacrifice.
Yeah.
And what hospitality was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, is very different to what it is now. And the biggest issue, I think, which turned hospitality upside down is the pandemic. Corona sort of destroyed the industry. It destroyed the industry because of the fact that whoever was a waiter, a barman, or a host, or any of those positions who was hoping to move up and become something, Corona just blocked that, and you lost your job due to Corona. So for 2 years, and this is not just Cyprus, by the way, it's all over the world, you had lost your job, and you're like, well, what do I do now? So people had to change their professions, and very few got back into it when it closed. And those who got back into it are not people that want to be head barman and mixologists and amazing waiters. They're just there to make the money, to make ends meet. They don't do it for passion. They do it because they have to.
Yeah.
So the industry has changed. Hospitality is a difficult, I would hands down put it as one of the most difficult industries to be in. And after being for so long, I realized that this is great, but it's time for me to do something else.
Yeah. What was the trigger? What were you feeling? Because I cannot even imagine after 25 years, being in that mindset, oh my God, I'm gonna just change, go solo.
There's a few triggers. The first trigger was I saw the reward aspect of it as a person first. And there was no reward in it. Financial rewards, yes, okay. But are there, for the amount of effort you give, are there more rewards somewhere else? 100%.
Yeah, even on the top, yeah.
I was at the top. I was getting a salary that most Cypriots would dream of. I had the support of the owner. I had the support of everybody. I was at the top. But the financial reward is a very, very small importance at the level where I was. I wanted to grow much more than that, but there was nothing more to grow. I mean, when you're at the top of a managing director of a company, the next level is the owner, I mean, and if you're not family related to the owner, or if you're not inheriting anything, or you don't have a percentage in the business, then it makes no sense to be there if you're still growing and you still have ambition and you still have the potential to grow. Then there's no real point to stay in that industry. Unless if that is exactly where you want to finish, that's where you want to end, that's where you want to retire, you're comfortable in that chair. And one of the triggers was comfort. I was too comfortable, in the sense that I was comfortable, that made me uncomfortable. Because when you're comfortable, you don't grow. And when you're comfortable, you get complacent and you stop challenging yourself as a person, as what else can you do in life? And I'm a person that wants to be challenged all the time.
So that was the main.
That's the second trigger. The third trigger was the passing of my mother. At that year, I had lost my mother, and it gave me a slap in my face saying, well, what are you doing? I mean, you didn't spend so much time with your mother all this time where you could have. So I was sacrificing time at work for family, for friends, and I had realized, well, you know what? Instead of me being there, I could have, I could have done different things. And I thought, you know what? That's not really what I want to do. I don't want to waste 16 hours of my day being somewhere where, yeah, maybe I'm benefiting the business, but as me, there was a lack of benefiting for me.
Yeah.
And that's where it hit me. What am I doing in my life?
Do you think that if your mom would have not passed away, you would have still gone a bit longer?
Maybe a little bit longer. Yeah.
What
Because the comfort zone, it's
appealing.
it's very difficult to get out of your comfort zone. The most difficult thing in life, you're comfortable, you've got everything there you want. And for you to change that, it's very, very difficult. And it takes a lot of guts. And I guess you need to be a bit crazy to do that, because it's, when you're comfortable, you don't want to change that. But sometimes you need something like a big slap to tell you, whoa, realign where you are. So that was my realignment call.
Yeah, it's a great story. Thank you for sharing. And I think like one of the things that comes into my mind is two things. One, only plants grow in the comfort zone, and two, humans are so blind until they hit the wall. And we don't clearly see the wall. Maybe we kind of like hints every now and then, but like for all my life, I had to have those situations where I had to get the slap, like you said, or I say hitting the wall to then kind of like recalibrate and go around.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's mental. And another good thing I want to cover that you said before we move away from those 25 years is like, one of the things that you told me that stuck with me is like the higher you go, the lonelier it gets, and it's a common way of saying, and a lot of people kind of do talk about it. But what does it mean? How does it feel? And how do you realize that? Oh my God, I got lonely getting here.
I'll give you an example. It's the best way of describing it. When I was still growing in my years of hospitality, I was very in touch with my team. I would take time out of my the business to make sure that me and the team are happy. So when I was, let's say, 7 Seas manager, 15, 16 years ago, I would take the team once a month, whether it's a picnic up in the mountains or in the village or down on the beach, and do a barbecue, and I would physically cook for them. And it was such a nice feeling to be so in touch with the team. As I grew positions, the friendship, or let's say the closeness that I had with teams, started disappearing, or let's say becoming less relevant. And the higher I got, the more distant I felt from my team. And my passion was, because of my character and was the team. It's always been the team, and I always used to fight for my team. And as I went up, I started looking at other importances. So, as you know, with every business, at the top level, you're looking at KPIs, you're looking at P&Ls, you're looking at who you're going to fire, who you're going to hire, profit statements, and things that for someone else would have been, amazing. For me, it wasn't really what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's not where you started.
I had lost my touch with my people, and fine, I lasted another 1 or 2 years up there at the top, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do. I was there because I was good at it. I knew what I had to do, but it wasn't really my passion.
Yeah. No, it makes totally sense. You kind of trade the eyeballs for bullet points and spreadsheet. It's not the same thing.
It's great for some people.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah. Got the slap. Gonna get out of here. Was there a plan?
Was there a plan? In the back of my mind, I had the comfort of being, I'm looking for the word. I had the comfort of being confident that no matter what I do, I'll succeed in it if I put my all. And that's a lesson I learned while I was in Columbia. And as I grew up, there isn't anything that I really wanted to do that I couldn't achieve. Nothing. And when I decided it was time for me to leave, I didn't really have a plan, no. I had a direction, and some things were calling out to me. My past of being a sociable person, a person who enjoys being on the mic, enjoys being in public, whether it's DJing or karaoke or hosting. And I have background in radio as well. So that started calling me again. Like, that's your passion. Why have you abandoned it? I had to abandon it because you can't be the managing director of one of the biggest hospitality companies in Cyprus and still be doing that. So I had to abandon my passions for that. And I realigned, I said, no, you know what? I really enjoy DJing, so I want to DJ every now and then. That's one of my passions. Why should I lose that? And I started doing content by chance. I did one video, second video, third video, and the reaction of those videos from my friends that are in social media told me, dude, you should be doing this. I said, really? Yeah, you should be doing this. I said, look, I'm doing it for fun. No, you should do this as a business. And I started looking at things differently, and that's where the plan started to make sense. And that's it's not a long time ago. It's about a year and a year and a half ago. And within a year and a half, the plan is so clear now. But if you asked me back then, I'd be like, I don't really know where it's going. But right now, what's in front of me, I would never have guessed that that's what's going to happen in a year and a half.
Yeah.
But if I didn't take that plunge, that trust in my confidence, and if I didn't take that leap of faith, I wouldn't be here.
Was there an ingredient of listening to your gut, like just going back to that voice and saying, yeah, this is right, let's just
absolutely 100%. If you don't listen to your gut, you're still stuck in where you're sometimes not supposed to be.
Yeah, today is the second conversation we have about that, and just another person that came to the show just said the best thing that happened to my life is when I started to be reconnected with the gut. And it's hard to be connected with the gut when you're so busy as business as usual, Monday to Friday. It's just that voice, it gets quieter and quieter, and all of a sudden you realize you killed it for years, and then you're not happy.
That's what happens with, I think, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Does everyone get the chance to take that plunge? Not everybody. Some people are not in a situation where they can take that plunge. I mean, if we take, let's say, other people in this business or in the hospitality business, whether they're making good money or not, they've got families to support. Yeah. They've got, and in my position, I don't have any children. So I didn't really have a problem in doing that. But not everybody's going to do that. Not everyone's going to be in that position. And plus, not everyone's got a backup plan. Yeah. Or some people are made to do this. Some people are unable to expand into it. It's just the nature of things. And I just happened to be in a position that I could. Now, does that mean if you're stuck, you shouldn't try? No, you should. Yeah, sure. But also there's a risk factor. What is the risk factor for you and for your family and for your health and for... Yeah. So there's a lot to consider. Yeah. I would say, luckier than some.
No, I can relate to that. I'm often thinking about, it's also if you don't do it now, it probably will just get harder and harder later on. So the more you quiet that voice, the more it's going to be harder to get to listen to it and actually do it, But Eddy, so... why did you decide to take the path of promoting Cyprus then, with your content and with your work?
Well, I mean, the obvious is I love Cyprus. It's my country. It's where I grew up. And where it really hit me was when you travel. I've spoken about this in my videos. The suffocation of being in Cyprus is real. It's called island fever. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch one of my videos. Island fever sets in every single person living in Cyprus. When is a different time. So for you, it's maybe 6 months. For others, it's 1 year. For me, every 4 months, I need to travel because I start to feel a bit, it's just how it is. And it's not just in Cyprus. In many countries, it's like that. In Cyprus, for me, personally, every 4 months, I itch and I want to get out. So I have to travel. And I love to travel. Travel is, for me, the only thing you invest in and you constantly gain in terms of financial. You invest in it and you're gaining. Everything else, you lose value. When you travel, you start to realize what you've got in Cyprus. And when you travel and come back, that feeling comes back to you. It's like, I'm so glad I'm back home. That feeling is what holds you and makes you realize how much you love Cyprus. That feeling when you land in Cyprus, you hear the Cypriot, Regumbare, it hits you like, I'm home. And that comfort doesn't come when you live here for too long and don't go out. So you have to go and go back. So when you travel, you also realize we've got it good here. We've got an incredible life that most other countries, if you really dig deep, would love to have. And we've got things that, if you really dig deep, you find out that Cyprus, for me, is really one of the best places to live in. And that's after you travel a lot, you realize that. If you're here, you don't realize it. You're like, Cyprus is small, we're nothing. Yes.
Yeah.
But when you travel, you realize, you know what? No, actually.
Yeah. It's that way of saying, right, the grass is always greener. But if you actually haven't stepped on other grass to see if it's actually greener, how can you compare it? And I think, like, I grew up in Italy and I grew up in Venice. So I grew up in an island, right? In an island in a city. There's one bridge that connects Venice to the mainland. And a lot of my friends, they spend most of their life in Venice. They don't have a driving license. They have a boat driving license. And that's about it. Has his own language, his own dialect, his own traditions and everything. And after the bridge, where the mainland is, there is nothing. And there is this mentality, but some people they love it. They are so into it. They don't even care about what's outside. They want to stay in there.
Comfort zone.
Yeah. And those usually are the people who have the strongest opinion about the others.
It's all being stuck in your comfort zone.
It's true.
Get out and see what's going on. You come back and you see things. And now the opposite is happening. We got so many foreigners coming into Cyprus and living here. And reigniting that idea of, why are they all coming here? Why do they all want to be here? That's because Cyprus has something that many countries don't. And that's what I see. And why I'm promoting Cyprus? Because every time I travel, especially when I go to Asia, most people don't know where Cyprus is. And I did a video about that as well. I mean, Europe, everybody knows where Cyprus is. But when you go a bit more east or a bit more west, even in the States, you ask some Americans where Cyprus is. Oh, yeah, Cypress Hill. No, not Cypress Hill. Cyprus. Where is that? It's next to Greece. It's in Europe, right? There's a lot of questions. And if you go to Asia, it's the same story. So I spend a lot of time in Bali. And I would say 90% of people that I spoke to there, Balinese, don't know where Cyprus is, but they all know halloumi.
Here we go.
I made a video about that as well. They all know halloumi, but they don't know where Cyprus is. And the irony is, halloumi is a trademark of Cyprus. Yeah. And in my opinion, everybody should know where Cyprus is. So I really want to tell people about Cyprus, and I want to tell them why it's so important. And my love for it is evident that I want this to be the country where I raise a family, and I want to continue living here till the rest of my days. I love that. Bless you, Eddy. Because like every time I see your content, like I see the fire in your eyes. Like I see that you're not doing content because you have to fucking do the content. Like you're doing because it's stuff that you like reading about, documenting about, and you're saying in a beautiful way. And one of the reasons why I did this podcast is exactly the same. Because first of all, I didn't know the existing of Cyprus when I met you here in London. I said, I'm from Cyprus. I said, okay, where you know what it is? I said, no, okay, let's have a look. So I was zooming them up, zoom. And she said, there you go. You see the tiny island. That one, half of it. And I said, okay, great. And then I came a bit more than half. And then I came in and visit and I fell in love with it. Like it's a beautiful place. It's not for everyone though. There are huge contrasts in the narrative of Cyprus depending from who the storyteller is. So that's another kudos point to you, because you do try to give a real image. Because if you go and speak to real estate investor and real estate people, they will give you one image of Cyprus, right? Then you go and speak to startuppers and fintech people, they will give you another image. And then you go and speak with the Brits in Paphos, they will give you another one. So what is the real Cyprus then? Right. I'm very proud of my video, which starts, Cyprus is not for everybody. Because it really isn't for everybody. And I think before people judge it, they should know a little bit more about it before they judge and they say, oh, is this the best for me? Or even the opposite, when they say, no, Cyprus is not good for me. So in both cases, they need to do a little bit of homework to see if it's there. Different cities have different living standards, different opportunities, different people. So yes, Cyprus is an island, but if you talk about the four main cities, the four cities that we have, each city is for a different person.
Let's.
So I've got people that are reaching out to me all the time. Eddy, I want to come to Cyprus. Where's the best to live? The word where's the best to live is, there is no such thing as where's the best to live. Who are you? What's your budget? Where are you from? What are you looking for? Are you looking for the beach? Or are you looking for a business perspective? Are you looking to retire? Or are you looking to grow? There's a list of questions I ask. And once they give me that answers, then I can tell them, okay, with what you've told me, I think Paphos is better, or Larnaca is better, or Nicosia is better, or Limassol. Limassol is not for everybody. Limassol is growing at such a high pace. That's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
Also, it's not affordable for everybody anymore.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that you can't afford Cyprus.
Yeah.
You can go and find a perfect place in Paphos or in Larnaca with a budget that competes with most European countries.
Yes.
Even some have moved to Protaras and Ayanapa, Famagusta area. But because that's what they want. They want to come and just be on the beach, and they want to have that holiday mentality. They don't care about everything. They've made enough money. They don't need to work anymore. So there is no what is the best in Cyprus. Who are you first? What do you want from it? And then I'll tell you what I think is the best city for you to be in.
Yeah, because you did build a business based on that as well, helping people understand Cyprus and relocating and taking the benefits of living here as well, right?
Yes, that came to me. I didn't look for it.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that have messaged me and asked me so many questions, from what is the best restaurant, to what is the best city, to where should I put my money, to where is the best city for my children. The questions I get, and I like to answer everybody. I'm not the type that says, he's not important. He's not going to they're not going to benefit me. Why should I answer? No. I want to answer as much as I can. As much as I humanly can. And I do reply to almost everybody with real questions, not the typical question, boss, I need job. So that I'm not going to answer. If you're sending a message, boss, I need job, do your homework, bro. But if you're asking
First of all, not a boss anymore. Second.
If you have a serious question and you are seriously thinking, then I will definitely help you out. Now, at some point, I couldn't answer everyone the same answer.
Yes.
So I started developing these videos according to what I've been asked. And I even made a guide on Cyprus.
Yeah, you have a Google map with all the places as well.
I have a guide for Cyprus with 600 locations that I literally handpicked. What is the best restaurant? What's the best taverna? What's the best beach? What's the best picnic site? What's the best viewing point? I put it in a guide, and actually I thought, you know what? This is the best way. So when somebody asks me, I'm just, get my guide, and it's all the answers that you can spend hours with me. It's in that guide. And if to go back to your question, the business came to me. Yeah. I wasn't looking for it.
Because people demanded that, right? So there was a demand.
Exactly. I just wanted to do content about Cyprus.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking to get paid for it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get paid for it. And the reason why I don't want to get paid for it, I'm not being just humble, or the minute you pay me for something, then I have to say what you want me to say. I don't want to say what you want me to say.
Yeah.
I want to tell you what I think of it.
Yeah.
If I don't like something, I don't want to talk about it and tell you it's good.
Yes.
No, my authenticity and my trust is much more important than anything you pay me.
Yeah.
So when I talk about whatever it is, I want to talk about it, and I want people to believe what I say. So you will never see me promote something I personally don't love, don't use, or don't know about it.
Yeah.
I will not promote. If I don't know about it, I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah, but what a huge responsibility to be a content creator that is based on a personal brand. I mean, you fucked that up once and it's gone, right? So the strategy that you have is fundamental, because I think a lot of people also they have a disconnection between who you are and who you represent yourself and what you say. There is no disconnection, right? And that's again another thing that I really like about you, because the same way you are in the videos is the same way that you are in real life as well, right?
Absolutely.
I have an idea about the definition of a content creator, which again was inspired by the conversation with you, with others, that to me a content creator is a selfless giver, right? It's someone that has no fear of giving spontaneous and in its entirety, and that's why is kind of helping people, whether if it's entertaining or informing people, and that's why they connect with this person, and that's why this account will grow and be successful. What's your view on that?
Yes, I agree that some are selfless, and if you're creating content, you should be as authentic and as trustworthy as possible. Some also do it for the money, which is normal because it's a full-time job.
It's a job.
Lots of creators that I know that are in my association that are definitely full-time jobs. They've quit everything and they're just creating content, and there's a lot of money in that. Sometimes as a content creator, you have to talk about something you don't necessarily love, but you want to talk about it because you're going to get paid. Yes, that's life. That's marketing. That's advertising. As Eddy, as a personal brand, I would like to remain unpaid for my thoughts, and I'd like to tell you what I honestly feel. I'm not going to shit on your brand. I'm not going to talk negative about your brand, but I'm not going to talk about your brand if I don't believe in it. So when people see me talk about something, it's because I truly believe it, or I truly feel it, or I truly love it. If I don't talk about it, then you question for yourself. I'm not going to diss your brand. I'm not the person who's going to come tell you, don't try this, because you know what? Who am I to judge that brand? It's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's a bad brand. It's just personally I don't like it. Doesn't mean that others shouldn't like it. It's just me, you know. And it should not be framed that because I don't like it, you should not like it. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know, I'm weird in this, and every single person of us has their own opinion. Take Coca-Cola and Pepsi. You might like Coca-Cola, you might like Pepsi. Doesn't mean Pepsi's not good or Coca-Cola is not good. It's just a personal preference.
Yeah.
You know?
Although that polarization and that negativity and that punch, it goes really well in social.
It does.
You see a lot of that.
It does.
And sometimes just spending a few hours on social media, you just start to have the toxicity in your mind, and it kind of changes your day.
As humans, we are intrigued by negativeness. Like if I want to grow, I'll start talking negatively about things, and I will blow up on social media. Guaranteed. And I've actually proven that. One of my videos, I started with a negative hook. Don't come to Cyprus if you don't ... Automatically, everybody was interested in that. I was actually saying positive things.
Yeah, I know that.
But I hooked you with the negative.
Yes.
It's just the way humans are. Humans react to something that's unknown. Like, why did he say that? And whether it's in real life or it's in social media. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to cheat the system. That's a cheat. You can cheat the system, use a negative to get you. And there's so much negative out there. I think there's enough negative out there with all that's happening in the world. I don't want to spread more negativeness, hate, and I want to be positive in my message. Even though it's the long way around, it's a long way to achieve what you want. I'm fine with that. I'm not in a hurry.
Without going negative, but you said that you love Cyprus, right? And you know Cyprus really well. But what are those things that... There must be things that trigger you, right? About living here. There is.
Oh, absolutely.
What are the top things that you would like to fix, improve, or at least talk about it? What's your trigger points here?
Since I don't want to talk about negatives, I can tell you what things can be improved, though.
Yes.
First, the elephant in the room. Limassol is expensive. It's getting maybe a bit too expensive.
Yeah.
Can everyone afford it? No. The locals who lived here all their lives, they're struggling.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the simple locals.
Yes.
Not locals that inherited a land, a building, a house that they sold for millions and now they're comfortable. No, I'm talking about the normal locals that live here, that were not so lucky that their grandparents had left them an inheritance. They're struggling to stay in Limassol. They're struggling to live here. Everything's getting more expensive. That bothers me. But how do you solve it? How do you solve such a thing? I'm not in a position to tell you how to solve it. But I am in a position to tell you that there's two sides to that story. There's one side, which is I feel really bad that they can't do much about it. But the second story is, why haven't you done anything about it? You're sitting there, with all due respect, watching your TV, going and doing your usuals for the last, I don't know how many years, and you haven't done anything in your life to change. So why do you think that everything's going to stay the same?
Yeah.
A wise man once told me, change is the only constant. Change will come. Change is coming every single day. If you're sitting on that sofa expecting nothing to change, that's also your problem. It is not going to be like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can take it extreme to say war is coming to some countries. I'm sitting on my sofa. I don't want war to hit me. You know what? Yeah, we all love that. War is coming in some countries. It's happening in some countries. Let's not take that extreme. Let's take a normal extreme in Limassol. So you can see that from the high rises. You can see from the prices of restaurants, goods, services. Everything's rising. Limassol is growing. And it's on a train ride right now going really fast. I believe if you don't readjust your lifestyle for that, you're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
That is the unfortunate reality. Do I want that to happen? Absolutely not. But there's no way to stop it.
Yeah.
You cannot stop the growth of a city or a person or a situation or a disaster in the world that's happening. It's coming to you. Are you prepared for it? Are you prepared for this? If you're not prepared, you're going to be left behind. So I have two thoughts about it, even though I feel very bad on the people that cannot readjust to what's going on. Change is coming.
Yes.
What are you going to do about it?
It's an interesting oxymoron that I would like to provoke you with, because obviously your content is helping to more people to relocate into Cyprus, right? And a good portion of those people are probably digital savvy or entrepreneurs, whatever. Probably they will choose Limassol. Probably they will rent a house. Probably the prices will go up. They will less for Cypriot to opportunities. So it's a bit an interesting oxymoron, because on one side you do see and suffer and feel the pain. On the other side, you're also promoting more of some of the cause that brings into that. What's your thinking around that?
So for a healthy, and I'm talking about Limassol because I live in Limassol,
Yes.
and I don't want to talk about other cities because I'm not in a position to
No,
tell you
same.
what's happening in Pavas, because here there's people that are far better than that. Limassol because I live in it. I believe that while it's growing, the government, also especially and the mayor of Limassol as well as the government, have to plan for that growth. And if we don't, we're going to have more people struggling. So the unfortunate people that cannot do anything about it, the government has to provide them with benefits, whether it's housing, or whether it's cheaper electricity, whether it's cheaper raw materials, stuff that you buy in the supermarket, or because as the city is growing, as the city is getting richer, we need to constantly think of the people that can't at the same time grow. So I absolutely think the government has to keep an eye on that growth, not keep an eye, be very active into the growth. So let's take Limassol right now. There's a bit of traffic jam every now and then. Yes?
Every day.
Every day.
Even if this year, even with the school closed, made no difference. It's the first year that I felt no difference in the summer. It's crazy.
Right. There you go. Now, there's people coming here all the time. Let's take simple maths. On the roads of Limassol, okay? Let's add another 5,000 cars. What's going to happen to the traffic? It's not a lot of cars, by the way. 5,000 is...
Which most of them will be G-Wagons.
Which will be... Any car, 5,000 new cars. Our roads are not ready for it.
Yeah.
So is the government doing something for public transport? I'm just taking something very basic, very easy to to talk about. But this applies to every industry. But if we take that, for instance, what is the government doing to help the situation? These are things that, as the city grows, there has to be infrastructure growth as well. That's why cities like Dubai are much more ready for that growth than we are.
It was built for the growth before the growth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have some very serious decisions to be made up top to be able to handle that growth.
Yeah.
But whether we like it or not, growth is coming.
It is coming. Yeah, it's you either ride the wave or suffer the wave, isn't it? That's the reality. Like I love living in Limassol because of business, really. But every occasion that I have, I'll go out. I'll travel like as much as you do, or if I stay in Cyprus for holidays, I will go, Paphos or those areas as well. So it's tricky, and I don't have particular issue with the price raising in Limassol. It's a similar conversation to yours. I have an issue with the infrastructure not keeping pace with it, right? Because this is not London, this is not Dubai, there is none of that infrastructure. So yeah, we can build high rises, we can import money, we can relocate people, but then the system is not catching up enough with that, right? That's the
Absolutely.
problem.
I'll give you two more examples. That's my opinion, nobody else's.
Disclaimer.
I think some of the things in Limassol need to also adjust. For instance, next door to you, it's the zoo, the municipal garden,
Yes.
which has been there from the 80s. We use it for what? The wine festival.
That was about
And
it,
a few shows at the theater. But what a beautiful location for it to be done properly, like New York Central Park.
Yes.
Why don't we invest in that? I mean, there's so much money coming into Limassol. Invest into making that a place where people can escape the heat, go into a place where it's like Central Park. I mean, if you look at Central Park in New York, it's probably the only place you can go and just disconnect. Take your dog for a walk.
Yeah. And there is no class. Everyone is equal in Central Park.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I would even do the same. You know Dasudi?
Yeah.
There's a forest right next to it. That forest, as we call it, opposite the XKN factory, which is another impressive project that's going to happen. That area, why have we not touched it? Why do we allow it to be, for many people, the dangerous area to go at night?
Yeah.
Why have we allowed that? Yeah. There's so much money coming into Limassol. For instance, that should be also a sort of a central park with grass, with lights, with water, with bins, with looked after. And it's right on the beach. It is the most beautiful central park. Why don't we reinvest into those to make them into places where people can go? I mean, we did a great job in Molos. Molos is great, but we have so much other opportunities. There's where I see the government is lacking behind.
Yeah.
I'd love to give my ideas. I've got 1,000 ideas like those.
Yeah.
Who's going to listen to me at the moment? Maybe nobody. Maybe in a few years when I become a little bit more influential, they start to listen.
Yeah,
but
you don't have enough whites now to listen to in the politics.
I don't care about the politics. I care about people's lives that are living here.
No, it's true, because also like in London they do it. In London they do build luxury apartments, skyscrapers, but they always have a fixed percentage for affordable living, right? Every new build needs to give back to the community, whether it's with affordable living, green spaces, public parkings, yalla, yalla, yalla. I feel like Limassol is an uneven game, and I feel a lot of people feel about that. Where a lot of people making money, a lot of people not being heard, and and it can only get wider, if we don't fix it, as you said.
Yes, that gap will increase. I think it's, let's give credit to the government. They're not blind. They know this is happening. I can see that there's some progress, and I can see they're giving it a bit of attention.
Yeah.
I think there should be more.
Yeah, I can smell the vision. I can smell the strategy.
Much more.
I see little bits here and there, but I can't see a cohesiveness of thought.
Exactly.
That's my issue. Even the bus lanes now that they've done in Cyprus, like a couple of the big roads which were already super busy traffic-wise, they closed half of it for buses, and I haven't seen one single bus on them. And you're with a car, you're not allowed to be on that now.
I think patience with that.
Yeah.
I think the vision is that there'll be more people using buses, less people using cars, and hopefully that's a way to relieve the pressure. Whether it will work or not is a question mark. I mean, from what I see, the locals don't like it. But, change is coming. We got to accept some of the changes. If that's the solution of the government, putting bus lanes will solve, then let's give it a try. Let's not attack it. Let's give it a try.
It's in our nature, though.
But then again, who am I to decide that? I think the government is doing something. I think they should be doing much more.
Yeah.
There's a lot on the agenda, I'm sure. But there's the beauty of, and again, I speak about Limassol, the beauty of Limassol, there's a lot of interest from international companies that moved here to help make Limassol better.
For sure. A lot of members of your community, myself, I'm not a Cypriot. I have a podcast which is called Made in Cyprus. So I think there is a lot of love. And I think that one of the forever richness of Cyprus since the beginning of time was the location and the attractiveness of the territory. So a lot of people come. And a lot of people are involved. They want to get involved into making it better, right? So it's beautiful.
Well, you had a podcaster before me.
Yeah.
He's German.
Yeah.
His name is the Island Keeper. He only came to Cyprus a year ago. He's helped clean up Cyprus more than any local that I know.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Sometimes fresh blood from new countries will actually help make it better.
Amen.
We need to, as locals, accept that.
Yeah.
Sometimes we feel like, why is that foreigner doing more than me and I'm a local? It's okay.
Get involved.
He has the passion. Get involved. Don't attack that. Support that. And that's why I support him and any person coming to Cyprus trying to make it better.
I agree. I want to talk about MICA and WIBA.
Oh, my favorite subjects.
Tell me about that. When did that come into the journey? So you started creating content and the content started working, and what time of the timeline you decided to get involved with MICA and WIBA?
Again, none of this was planned.
I love that.
And this is the beauty of taking that dive into your confidence.
Yeah.
And just,
so you didn't know the existence of MICA?
No, absolutely nothing.
Tell me about...
All of this started when I took the leap of faith.
Yes.
And, a message to everyone out there, if you're thinking, sometimes you just got to do it. You just got to say, you know what, I'm going to do it. And just take that leap of faith. But do not get disheartened if somebody tells you otherwise. Take that choice, that decision, and just follow through.
Stick to it.
Do not get sidetracked by what people tell you. Because a lot of people have, why? You need to do it. As I started doing content and my interest in content grew, obviously my persona online started becoming a little bit more clear. And I'm like, okay, this is an interesting industry I want to be in. Let's find out a little bit more.
Yeah.
By chance, I got introduced to WIBA, which is the World Influencer Blogger Awards that happens in Cannes once a year. I got invited to it. I saw it. I thought it was incredible. I thought, we need to bring this to Cyprus. Brought it to Cyprus, called it WIBA Mediterranean, did it last August, and brought some of the world's biggest influencers. And we had a total of 150 million followers in one room. Huge event in terms of social media. Fast forward, I then realized that there's a lot of creators in Cyprus, but they're all doing their own thing. It's a bit of a chaos mode because it's a new industry, especially for Cyprus.
Yeah.
That everyone's doing their own thing, and there wasn't really any consensus on what we should be doing. So I created an association called MICA, Mediterranean Influencer Creator Association, which started with 5 people. 5 of the top creators I know, including Souvlakis, including Stephanie P, Theo, and a few, Ricardo, and a few others. Just people that I knew that were back then still growing, pretty big back then, but they're much bigger now as well. I said, guys, let's do an association. We started, and it grew within a year to 120 members now. And who are these members? These are content creators that have taken content as a profession. Not just I take a video of what I'm eating and I post it and I'm a creator. No, someone who's doing this as a profession. Whether it's a side hustle or a full-time, If that is a part of something you want to be in as a creator, as a profession, then MICA would be the right place for you. And it grew in an incredible way. And what I decided to do is, you know what? Let's meet up once a month. Do the meetup once a month. It started with small meetups, and it grew into meetups that's 100 people per event. And on Saturday we have a meetup. This meetup is a sailing race challenge with all the creators. And those creators, none of them have any sailing background, but we're going sailing on 10 yachts with instructors just because we're creators. We want to do other things, and it's something out of the box. And next month, I've got a huge event, actually the biggest event, which is happening next month at a brand new resort that opened last year in Ayia Napa. The resort's called Ayia, which is a gorgeous resort, one of the most beautiful resorts that have opened. It's very Myconian style. It's got those. It doesn't have a single corner. Everything's rounded. Everything's wide. It's got that Mykonos feel. If you've been to Santa Ana in Mykonos and Ushuaia in Ibiza, it's a bit of both. So it's a really high luxury hotel resort that has 3 pools and rooms all around. And they constantly have incredible events there. I celebrated my birthday there, and it hit me. I'm like, this is the next MICA event. So we're taking over the resort next month, and we're inviting all the creators to come and be part of a 2-day creator retreat where we're going to have workshops, panel discussions, one-on-ones, events, and it's going to be around health and fitness as well. We're teaming up with Heatwave, the biggest fitness festival in Cyprus. They're coming. We're going to have morning yogas and Pilates and things in the water, and all the panel discussions and all the activities are going to be done in the pool. Nobody's ever done that around the world. So we're going to be the only ones that are doing a creators, let's say, retreat that it's not in a classroom or a ballroom in a hotel. It's actually in the pool.
Yeah, I love MICA. Like I've been to a few, but for some reason, always I'm away. Like this Saturday as well is my father's 70th, so we're gonna be in Italy. But I do love to come when I can, because there is all those interesting people that you see on your feed. They're there in flesh. They're there, and
they're on your phone.
Awesome to see them.
And all of a sudden they're in a room, and you're with, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and there is so much power for the content creators in Cyprus as well, because it's a good framework, it's a good place to live. Legislation, taxation-wise, regulation, I think it's all a bit blurred because it's such a new profession, as you said. So it's important that there are these communities as well, people that come together and they speak about this stuff. Because now you ask kids what you want to do when you grow up. I want to be an influencer. I want to be a YouTuber. It's in the profession list. It's the reality, it's the future. So kudos again to you to making it happen. And there are some amazing people in there. So if you are a content creator, you know where to go and check it out at MICA.
And you know the irony? Every day I open up my phone, there's a new creator in Cyprus.
Yeah.
Talking about Cyprus.
Yeah.
And the minute I see that, obviously I check their content. If they're not politically motivated or if they have anything that doesn't align with ours, I send them a message.
Bravo.
Have you heard of MICA? And they apply. Some of them apply, and some of them. But every single day, we've got new creators coming in, and it's growing exponentially. And I think so. You asked me, did I know that? Absolutely not. A year ago, I would never have thought of this.
Yeah.
And now I see where this can go.
I can't wait to meet you again. Well, obviously, I want to meet you before that, but I can't wait again to have a proper conversation with you in 1 year. And ask you, how did this happen? How did that happen? Because it looks like you're kind of like on a roll and things popping up, and it's beautiful to see. And the fact that you can I'm having goosebumps, and the fact that you can connect that to a gut feeling and a scary decision, it's just the type of shit we should all do more.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Book in your calendar next year, same date, same time.
Let's do it.
And let's do an update.
Yeah.
On what we've done in the next year.
Let's do it. Eddy, before I let you go, finish these sentences. Cyprus is misunderstood because...
I've got so many. I want to see which one I want to use. Well, I think the most common one is Cyprus is misunderstood because it's considered a holiday destination, but it's
I was
not.
going to suggest that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not just a holiday destination.
Amen.
But I've got more, but this is where I'm going to stick
I think
with.
this one is
Yeah.
it's pretty sticky.
Yeah.
The biggest lie we tell about Cyprus is similar. We can use the other one here.
That it's an island. That it's a small island.
Limassol is becoming
A new creators hub.
nice. Influence becomes dangerous when
It's misused by not being genuine and authentic in what your message is.
love that. In 10 years, I want Cyprus to be
The biggest creators hub.
nice. Thanks to you and MICA. Eddy, thank you very much. Before you go, tell us where people can find you, to connect with you, follow your content, and so on. What's the best place?
Well, all my pages are my name, Eddy Nassar, and I'm literally on every platform.
What's your favorite platform?
At the moment, it's Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, but I cannot discredit Facebook because different generations follow different platforms.
Yeah.
So my older generation, or let's say my generation, are more on Facebook. The newer generation on Instagram. Obviously, the latest generation on TikTok and Snap and everything else.
I love that. It reminds me of a story. Once I went to give a lecture in a university about personal branding and content, and I was talking about my LinkedIn and my becoming a LinkedIn top voice, right? And then after the lecture, there was this young lady that came to me and she said, "Oh, Martin, I love your stuff. I'm also an influencer, but I'm an influencer in younger platforms. I don't do LinkedIn." And I was like, ouch. Driving back home, I was like, PTSD. But yeah.
But today you can't not be on all of them.
Yeah, it's true.
LinkedIn, by the way, is now one of the platforms that you really need to, if you haven't been, you need to consider getting on.
Yeah, the percentage of creators and content readers is much less as well, so it's more inviting as well to get into the game.
LinkedIn has so much potential.
Yeah.
Other than the obvious, I mean, Snapchat, TikTok, Insta. Yeah. Facebook is still, in my opinion, dominant. And if you want to push a brand, a message, Facebook's still dominant. Instagram is very, very important, but I think you can't get away with not being on Facebook. And today, YouTube and LinkedIn do not skip on those. You have to be on those as well.
Yeah, my business, my revenue generator is 90% on LinkedIn. That's the reality. It does work for me. It depends from brands. Eddy, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a very busy man. And I'll see you next year for Volume 2.
Next year, same time, same date, Volume 2.
Let's do it.
Let's have an update.
Let's have it. Thanks, Eddy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. As always, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. That helps us to keep the show running. Tell your mother, tell your friend, tell your yaya, speak about us, and go Team Cyprus.